excitement.
Yeah, we're good. Alright, so this video we're going to talk about two up-and-coming, I guess you can say, public speakers, politically slanted. They're both, to me it smells like they both have a stereotypical Republican type agenda thing going on. It's like the same keywords and the same similar rhetoric and similar ideas as the old guard of Republican Party. See that? Like, this is what's weird about this thing. Is that, yes, they're younger people from like a millennial generation, but they're just repeating the same ideas, the same old ideas that have been around for a while.
Except I have a new haircut. I'm not so old. I can relate.
Yeah, and they're saying this basically the same things.
Remember those cartoons when you're little? Don't do drugs, kids. It's not cool. It's like, you're not relating to me. Yeah. We can relate to them through this guy. He has boat shoes. He's young. He's hip. Yeah. He has money. And her, she's attractive young female and whatever. Fuck it. It's like just because they're young, doesn't really get to me, and I'm at that point that they can't really confuse me with what they're saying. It's like,
So as the title states, this is about Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk they're both from Turning Point, USA. And I'm only gonna play like a second of it. Looks like it's working. So Candace Owens recently made an appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast, and me watching this, it's like, I can see how some people might see like, oh, she's just a normal girl with a active voice and says controversial shit. To me, I see like Condoleezza Rice. That's who I see.
Who?
Condoleezza Rice from the Bush administration. Yeah, actually, I probably make that because they're both black and women.
Well, it's okay if you say it.
Yeah, but
you can bench over 280. That's why. Nothing else.
You might know her most from like Kanye West and his whole TMZ shit, and I referred to her as like his handler. He's like, Candace got the facts.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like,
I mean, I don't know.
Kanye. Well,
it's like she's on fucking Fox. I'm like,
She seems strictly politically motivated.
Even
like all her talking points are talking points from like typical conservative arguments.
like
well, one really popular one from this podcast is she doesn't believe in global warming.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Which is, it's like, alright, maybe you can give her a pass. Maybe she's conspiracy leaning on certain topics. But then you go into lack of criticism of Donald Trump. No mention of, war ever.
War crimes.
Yeah.
Especially her criticism of Obama is very light, in my opinion, as far as everything else he's done, or allegedly has done. Evidence shows that he's done.
Well, she won't bring up war because
So
as far as on a political spectrum, they've all been for war. Not specific individuals, but the parties themselves have been pro-war, seemingly.
Well, they're sick.
Something like that.
No, they're sick. Or their ideas are sick.
Alright, let's take a look at some of Candace's.
It's like working out with a bunch of rat shit everywhere. Yeah.
Let's talk about some of Candace's, or a portion of her appearance on Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah.
It's like everything should piss you off, everything should make you angry, everything should make you upset, everything is unjust, everything is oppressed. And I don't know why this kid just shut up at school. Why was he so angry? Like, it's like we're weird. It's like we're weirdly fake. And no one wants to have the conversation. The shooting happens and everyone wants to talk about the NRA, and then David Hogg is back on the news.
See, that seems like a quiet defense of the NRA. To me, from taking all the other things she says and then throwing that in, that seems like, once again, political talking points. Don't blame the guns. Keep your guns. Second Amendment type shit.
Well, it's very rarely do they
This one's a little more loose to make a judgment on, but that's what it smells like to me.
Well, it's rare that they ever go to the argument as far as the people, not systems. The system surrounding the people. It's always that. It's never well, what's wrong with people?
Yeah.
Because that would lead to a domino effect and then make them look real dumb. As far as, oh, we're for war?
Yeah.
Here, you can't shoot people. Here, go shoot them. They're communists. They're taking over. How do we know? Trust me. It's in an article. I vouch for it. I'm your superior. Go.
Yeah.
Regime change. Go. You're 18. Old enough. Yeah, go. Come on. By the way, you can take steroids and you can listen to heavy metal in your tank. Have fun.
Alright.
It's like,
Jordan Peterson has some interesting ideas about religion and the fundamental beliefs and the lessons that are learned from things like the Bible and how they apply to human life and our own belief systems. Without them, without these sort of structures and belief systems, is one of the things that leads civilization astray. It's done that before and things go awry.
Well, I actually had this debate with Charlie, and I did a panel down in DC, and we were talking about whether, like, the reintroduction of God and teaching him into school. And I said, like, at some point there seems to be the struggle. I have this idea that, like, human beings in a certain way, we're doomed to just keep repeating history. I'm obsessed with Greek mythology. I'm obsessed with.
Yeah, this seems like history repeating. Republican Party politics reincarnating into two young people, or more than that. But these are just typical Republican ideologies. Seems like.
I just keep thinking of Reagan.
Granted, I hate saying political words like Republican or conservative or liberal and lefties and Democrats.
Every time they talk about, like, Republicans, I think of that Reagan guy, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, because I heard from someone, yeah, he's basically the symbol of the Republican Party, or something like that. It's like, I mean, the guy that basically helped the war on drugs thing happen, and possible war criminal. I don't care about human life, not enough. And yeah, we're good. We're the good people. It's like, are you fucking for real? That guy creeped me out. In school, I learned nothing about the, like, atrocities that he allegedly have taken place. It's like, you're killing people from in a small room, you know.
I might have to adjust this volume a bit to, like, right there.
It's like, and you're adopting their ideologies or whatever, or their parties. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, she has a little bit more range when she's speaking about things.
Okay.
But we'll get to Charlie Kirk. But when he starts talking, it just sounds like a typical Republican from, like, like a Bush era Republican.
Senior?
Either one. Might as well be the same thing, just different circumstances going on around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say Bush Senior always kind of it was not as how would you say, like, something's really off with you.
Well, they seem like they're, I don't know, like they had cardboard, what are they called? Cue cards or whatever, that they memorize, and then they walk into interviews and it seems like they're speaking from the mind, straight from the head, straight from the heart, but it's just talking points over and over again.
Yeah.
But they're young and hip.
Fool me once, shame.
Hung out with Kanye.
Fool me once, shame on
shame on you.
Like,
he says it like a question. Kind of funny.
It's like, fuck, I forgot the talking points. Damn it.
Alright, let's continue with this. They're talking about like we should have more. She says God, I guess, in the classroom or something like that. I'm like, I'll just go to ethics or something like that. Why do you need to? Because when you say God, there's a whole baggage that comes with it.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by God. What do you mean?
I know.
What is that? What is it to you? Do you have any idea?
I wouldn't be surprised if she meant strictly Christian, Judeo-Christian God.
That's what probably goes in the Republican Party, right?
That heavily aligns.
Yeah. We believe in God, but we're gonna go kill people. They're bad.
Yeah. And
like,
Reagan's like one of the first guys to do that. To sort of seemingly exploit religion to get votes.
Oh.
I think he's like the main first one.
Think of it like this. I think they all have done something similar in regards of, by they all, I mean most of the presidents. Oh,
fuck.
I don't want to say that. Most leaders, you can catch them whenever they're trying to make a moral justification out of doing something that could be terrible.
Yeah.
What is that?
I want to keep up with these.
Holy fuck. What is this?
A lot is from one guy.
Oh my god.
It's Uncle Ben. Spider-Man's uncle.
What the fuck? You do it.
That wasn't even funny. I'm doing I have a mouse, man. You can't see this?
Yeah, they can't see it. You have a mouse on your knee. That's what you have, okay?
I worked out today. I'm a little tired.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I lift heavier than you. Admit it.
Yeah, well, because I've been out for like 6 months.
It's actually recovery week, so.
Whatever. Give me a year, watch what happens.
Egyptian history, hieroglyphics, like anything that like where they tell stories, especially Greek mythology, because the lessons are there and we just keep doing it, right? Greed, lust, like the things that human beings fall for, right? So
vanity.
I have this idea.
Vanity.
Don't know if you want to know. The volume is way low on your guest's video.
Shit. That's what I was just looking at.
I'm a guest.
We're just gonna keep going. Let us know if it's better.
Capitalism sustainable creates artificial sacrifice. Okay. Resources.
Let's try like right there. Too loud.
Man, Ben's on a roll.
We were talking because
Holy
Charlie
shit.
is an evangelical Christian. I'm not, right? I believe in
This super smart guy is an evangelical Christian.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
does he believe like Jesus came back to life?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. He's an evangelical Christian.
So he believes that someone died,
Yeah.
and then 3 days later,
Yeah.
they came back to life, and that they walked on water and.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I haven't really gotten into it because I'm not the person that should ever be like debating or talking
Right.
about religion. It's not my
Mhm.
like shtick, I guess. But so what I said to him, because me and him both believe that in many ways the reason that the government has the media has started roundly dissing God, right, like and dissing Jesus Christ is because the government wants to be God, right? So if people don't.
She does mention Jesus Christ there, so
Yeah.
you're clearly insinuating Judeo-Christian.
If I'm responding to someone, how do I respond to them specifically on this?
You hit like an @ symbol at their name. Maybe, yeah. Figure it out, man. You're younger than me. You should know all this shit.
I'm not taking your shit today. Okay, they will witness a beating, physically, not sexually.
Yeah. So, all right. So what she's about to say is that the media and government are, I don't know, taking this route to replace religion with themselves. And that whole argument is set up to say, we don't want big government. And it's like, where have I heard that before? That is the Republican fucking talking point right there. You need smaller government. You need to lower taxes.
Well, I would say the whole idea of really figuring out what she means, or if that is true, is you keep picking at that and see, are you just repeating this, or do you really feel this way? And if you do, let's break it down.
I'm thinking she's more likely to be schooled by someone else, because you can hear that she's like, sort of. She's not as direct as the Charlie Kirk guy is. She's a little more. There's a little more wiggle room with her. It's a little more abstract to how she says things. Charlie Kirk is like on point of straight up Republican political talking points. It's like. Ask them if they can hear the fucking thing.
Can you guys hear us?
I should have just said it to my. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going.
Wait a minute. Do you think the media is responding to the government's suggestion? Is that what you think? The reason why people are going after religion is because the media is responding to some sort of orders from the government?
Not orders. That's wrong. So it's
directive?
No. But Andrew Breitbart said that politics is downstream from culture, right? So and you can argue that they feed into each other, whatever it is. But there's definitely something between culture and politics that is linked, inextricably linked. When
people.
When everyone's on the same page, like, so if the government wants to get bigger, which it has been doing, right, and wants people to look to them for answers, which it has been doing, you have to understand they have to sort of destroy everything else that they would potentially be looking to for answers, right? So
it's like, government's too big, capitalism is the way to go.
No, and that goes to what I'm saying to Ben.
Yeah.
He was saying a new society needs to be constructed from the ashes of capitalism, without borders, without prejudice, and without social class. Only then can we secure the future for our children. I understand where that would come from, but at the end of the day, it's basically not necessarily a system that on paper that's like, oh, that could work. But it's the people. It's whether they're corrupt or they're ignorant.
I think it's a social prisoner of the moment type thing. Now I'm putting moment in this lengthy amount of time, but if you see communist Russia and all the bullshit that happened there, or Soviet Union, then it's like, oh, communism is bad.
Well, no,
this is bad.
No,
but that's the prisoner of the moment thing.
Sure, but I'm sure
which is why you could say that about capitalism.
Sure, but yeah, if we do look at like what communism actually says or is, or Marxism, I'm pretty sure it's not basically, it doesn't involve taking advantage of people, or capitalism, really. It's when people it's when I would say corrupt or ignorant people get involved in the system, and it becomes not what's supposed to be. Yeah. It's basically like this, spirit of the rule,
Yeah.
That's, so.
I mean, you could have corrupt people make a system.
Well, sure, but
like the systems we have here now, capitalism, socialism, communism. But let's say the corrupt people in those systems went away or walked away or whatever. And I think the hardships would fall back. Basically.
Me too. But at the same time, the governments and militaries are at war with God and will never get better. But what do I know?
Oh, you handle that shit. The whole chat room. Alright, we're going to swing over to Charlie Kirk, because this guy's way more fascinating to me. First of all, during this podcast, she brags about how genius he is. Like, he was reading at 7 years old or something like that. Or reading high-level stuff at 7 years old.
So?
And he skipped college. He's only 24 years old, and this and that.
Well, I mean, I do acknowledge intelligence, but what kind of intelligence? Really,
I
there's
should
more.
Play that part again.
What? Like, wait, how would you classify this? It's moral intelligence is one.
Or is it?
There's a shit ton, right?
You'd be reading forever, yeah.
Well, his is what? What would you classify his as far as academics and?
I would say it's an academic.
Is it a series of things?
Academic type of intelligence. Obviously, we all have mixtures of different intelligences, but I think his is more of that academic input-output type thing. As in, he could probably memorize a whole speech faster than I could, or than most people could. But yeah, when she was talking about Charlie Kirk being an evangelical Christian, Rogan's like, seriously? He's that smart and he believes that at the same time? Like, that's when Rogan's internal wall started cracking. He's like, oh. And he does ask her, do you plan on running for office? Because it sounds like that.
Well, let's respond to some of these things real quick. All right. So, I told you what Ben said. And I said I would say capitalism isn't necessarily the problem. It's corrupt people and ignorant people. And I didn't really dive in deep into that because I'm, He said aided by institutions that enable their behavior. Okay.
All right. So I was well,
hold on. Let's keep it going.
Once you have, let's take capitalism at its core.
Well, let me keep telling you what he said. Wall Street bankers didn't crash the economy because they were corrupt people. It was designed to allow them to do that and let them get off prison. Oop. Where is it? Hold on. To place blame on individual choice or morality dismisses our collective responsibility to fix what's wrong. He's quoting someone here.
The moral question is the question. That is the battle. The moral one.
Yeah. Well, he quoted someone. We don't need to enforce people to wear seatbelts. We should just hope that they're careful enough to wear one. I'm quoting someone again. We don't need to radically restructure our capitalist system where 82% of the wealth goes to the 1%. They just need to be less corrupt. See how placing the blame on individual morality demobilizes any effective action at actually solving the problem? That's what Ben said.
Okay, but we're putting this in the scope of no corruption, period. Not just few individuals doing shitty things.
Oh, yeah.
So, hold on. So if you have a capitalistic system and then a crash happens, with following the rules of capitalism, you are allowed to freely give charity, correct? There you go. Non-corrupt, like, oh, we can't let them be homeless or
exactly,
drink shitty water, eat shitty food.
Or what that, yeah. I would say,
we're moral beings. We would go out of our way to help them.
Like once someone realizes it's basically a sick society, not the system which they live in,
Yeah, the system.
You could okay, new system. We can do this. It's like magic or something like that, We can do this new system for money, etc. Government, whatever you want to call government.
Yeah.
A new system of how everything could work. But as long as there's corrupt people, shit's gonna not go exactly 100% great,
Yeah. And
I'm not saying it has to be someone that's perfect,
Yeah.
But as long as everybody has the moral standard of that's not good. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Then it won't happen.
Yes.
It can't.
I'd consider systems almost like a.
Hold on, he's responding.
I would consider systems like an inanimate object almost. It's how it's applied, right? It's not a conscious being. It's made up of conscious beings. If there's no corruption within those conscious beings.
R3 Sources ID said, yeah, Ben, would you put the government as a part of a capitalist issue? I'm going to try to respond to everybody,
Alright.
Absolutely, because the government is structured to aid advancement of a capitalist economy. The government had a role in removing controls that allowed for reckless financial speculations to eventually crash. The same government who is interested in maintaining a stock market in exchange of speculative values that didn't rest any top bankers. Well, yeah, I agree with that, but at the same time, it's basically like, how would I say this? What is capitalism? And you take that and you make a system with it. But what I feel like these people do, as far as people that are in charge of the government, they like to, it's like add-ons, you know what I mean? Over time, they add on rules that would go against the spirit of the rule of capitalism with who are morally good people. Like, you know, if morally good people lived in a society that was capitalism or socialism, I think they'd be just okay. I do agree. Make capitalism part of their problem. Wait, what?
Yeah, if people weren't corrupt, would they be betting against homeowners? You know?
Hold on. You said the
would insurance companies be? Would they be benefiting from people dying?
Well, everything
that's a person thing.
Sure.
That's some sort of greed.
Everything he's saying is a part of the corruption part. You know?
Yes. If you just look at the core idea of, not that I'm arguing for capitalism,
he's not wrong.
I don't really give a shit, but
he's not wrong. He's just I think he's meshing as far as, well, it's the problem because they do this. It's like, well, no. Everything you're saying is correct as far as what they're probably doing. I would agree, but I wouldn't group it with it's capitalism the fault. It's the people. It isn't a corrupted version of capitalism, exactly how it's designed. Well, I mean, maybe we should look up what capitalism is real quick. You know?
Good. Turn that shit off. But yeah, I would say look at the core idea of what capitalism is. Look at the core idea of what capitalism is, minus all the add-ons from corrupt bankers, corrupt politicians.
You could look at it like this. I don't mean to interrupt, but you could look at what capitalism is in the spirit of the rule, as far as if someone's portraying to be good, you know. So they're putting their own motives behind it, whether it's good or bad. But if you look at it and it could be good, that means it has room to be good or bad.
Yeah. So
you could say, let's pretend that it was meant to be a good thing, but over time things start getting added to it.
Yeah.
I would say,
or corrupt people playing with the already established rules.
Sure. So
something like supply and demand, right?
Mm-hmm.
That on its face, supply and demand seems like seems like a good idea, right? We provide something that people want, so we supply to them. Hold on. Now, if I have a product, and let's say it's cigarettes, and I add addictive properties to this cigarette, do you see how that's corruption?
And we lie about it.
And we keep it hidden for years till, you know.
And we pay people to say it's healthy.
Yeah.
And doctors.
Okay. What am I reading?
All right. Capitalism, according to Google, an economic political system.
Thank you, Google.
In which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than the state.
I wasn't listening. I'll just read it this way. Yeah.
I don't want to disregard what Ben is saying. Financial speculation accelerated in the beginning of the 80s, eventually getting so large and bloated with hoarded money that it collapsed on itself in 2008. I'm not disagreeing with that. There's an important difference between capitalism and the philosophy, the core, hence, you know, quote, the core idea versus what its real-world applications are. Capitalist philosophy, core ideas, doesn't have room for credit default swaps, consolidated debt obligations, yet those two financial speculation products were at the core of the 2008 recession. Okay, like I'm not.
Now, were these enacted when the dollar was backed by
gold,
as opposed to, well, basically debt now?
Yeah.
Right. They're basically trading debt around.
Not real money.
Empty numbers on a computer screen.
Yeah. I think you can get money still backed by gold. You just have to go through a whole bunch of shit.
And
you could say in your dollar, it's like not backed by gold. It's like, what? This is useless. This is meaningless.
In a non-corrupt society or incorrupt society, wouldn't they back their economy with something they value?
Yeah.
like a resource.
I would say so.
And they would be able to calculate that if they turned it into debt merchants and shit like that.
Let me see if I'm getting what he's saying is right. I mean, the idea of what he's saying. He's saying it's not the spirit of the rule. It's how it was built. It's how it's always supposed to be. It's how it's built. How it's meant for so long. I don't know if that's true. I mean, he's giving me a lot of like important things that have happened.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, you could just read it, what capitalism is, versus no, you could read what it is, and then you could basically come to understanding of if people were good as far as not corruptible, or ignorant to a certain far as to a certain degree, you know. I don't believe any of these things would happen. Even okay. I thought, oh shit. All right. Even with a metal standard, with a metal standard,
like gold,
gotcha.
Silver.
I've been so used to insults. I thought he called me even a mental retard. I was like, oh fuck, not again.
All right. Say retard, okay? We say derpy. Derpy's a new word. So you don't offend anyone.
That's not new. Come on, dude. You're not even 40. Don't fucking do this to me now. Even with a metal standard, you still had panic. You still had panic and financial crashes because of the inflexibility of money and the lack of how do you say that? Sovereign debt. You create a whole other host of economic issues.
I'd have to look into it.
Well, me too. But like, I'm not gonna pretend I'm an expert on. Like,
I will work with what I understand, what I know, as opposed to the guessing part. What I know is, in an incorrupt society, no matter the system, the society will be healthy financially. I mean overall, but let's just put it in the bubble of finances. The
Panic of 1893 before the Depression was regarded as the worst economic downturn or downtime in American history. Well, I'm not saying that any of these things happened, you know, because the system was how do I say this? I'm not saying like none of these things happened, you know. I'm not. Those routine panics in American history are often spurred by inflexibility of money, since it was able to help to a finite amount of metal.
And read that loud.
Gotcha. Those routine panics in American history were often spurred by the inflexibility of money, since it was held to a finite amount of metal. I mean, he probably knows more about the exact history of this, but at the same time, we would have to go back to when they decided to create, as far as the idea of capitalism, or at least at least have it as far as beginning of the system.
Well, here we go. You know more about economics than we do, or at least about capitalism than we do.
Sure, because
But at the same time, can you go back to those time periods and say there was no corruption going on? There's no backdoor deals, no nothing going on. It was purely on the surface, pure capitalism, and it just fucked up. I can't say whether I know that or not.
I don't mean to fuck his name up. R3 Sources ID said, Ben, if we elected no or none wealthy people into the chair. What?
What if we elected...
Oh, my...
what if we elected no wealthy people?
My point is, you can't merely wish that, if only capitalism was pure and uncorrupted solutions. No, it's not the system. It's not the system, it's the people.
People in the system.
You ever seen Batman?
Let me throw this in.
The Dark Knight trilogy? You ever see that? It's a perfect example of what I mean.
Fuck. Try this.
Batman is someone who is incorruptible. Well, everyone could ponder till time runs out. We determine when time runs out. It's okay. Well, everyone could ponder it till time runs out, but everyone needs to do is demand truth. If not, people will still be wondering why things are bad. Yeah, I agree with that.
100%.
But that also
I'm basically agreeing with what everyone's saying.
No, I don't think anybody's wrong. It just could be a misunderstanding or Batman, yes. He's a perfect example of someone who is incorruptible from his morals. They're unbreakable morals.
Yes.
In a corruptible society where everybody around him has shown to be corrupt.
Yeah, and don't knock it because it's a fictional character, because you can see it right there. A character type.
It's the system it was built for.
An archetype.
He says, no, it's the system. It was built to war with God. Well,
God or good? No. I still can't call the system that. I call it neutral. Like money. Or chair.
I would have to agree. I would agree the system is neutral. It just depends on who's in charge of it.
Yeah, who's wielding it.
It's like this. In a way, it's like a symbol. You could take okay, I'm not a history buff, but I'm pretty sure the Nazis got the swastika symbol from a pre-existing group or religion or what have you, and they gave it meaning, and now it has an effect on people which they just don't want to see it. But if we truly understood why this happens, and we could realize that they're just symbols, we give them meaning. You remember that smiley face, the yellow smiley face.
Have a nice day.
Sure. Yeah. If I run around killing people with that shirt on, I have a gang of people, and we have to outlaw the shirt. We can't have the symbol anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I gave it meaning before. It was just yo, it's a smiley face. Look at that.
That's what you just said is the political solution. That's why I don't like people that.
Well, it's insane.
I don't like people's ideas that are always purely political.
He says
you stack laws on top of laws.
He says hello, God. He means, I guess, God. That's what he's saying. So what he meant was, no, it's the system, not the people behind the system. It was built to war with God. Well, what do you mean by that? War with God?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Because as far as no, I'm not talking about them kind of gods. I'm not sure what you mean, man. Or a person. Reducing something like that to just a symbol roundly dismisses the deep history meaning that they have.
Once again,
this is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to dismiss anything. I'm saying is that a symbol is given meaning, and it can be given meaning over and over again. I could change the meaning of the symbol whenever I want, It's like telling a Jew, "Oh, that's a swastika. It's just a symbol. Let's move on. Let's move past its meaning and really understand what it comes from." I mean, we as people, we can give these things meaning. I'm not gonna be I don't want to show no empathy. Because it's just not fair. It's not right. It's not a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be blunt, oh, it's just a symbol, bro. It's like, no. I mean, I can understand why they don't want to see it. It offends people. I understand that.
But...
yeah. I just saw him say something again. To claim systems and symbols are neutral except for meaning applied by corrupt individuals dismisses the flaws in the system that allowed for the corruption to take place.
No?
No?
No. Because in those places that allow corruption to take place, and there isn't corruption there.
Huh. He's quoting someone again. It's not our cars are unsafe. It's the corrupted drivers who keep crashing them.
To a percentage of that, yes. You ever heard of drunk driving or
Battlestar Commander said, well,
texting while driving?
Sure. That's corrupt. It's either ignorance or corruption.
And then
people are ignorant and or corrupt to the point where they're little Jello bags. They're more than that, but driving in a giant metal death machine.
Yeah. Well, it could just be an accident too.
Sure.
Fucking
hold on.
Lightning can strike and drop a tree in front of the road.
Battlestar Commander says, well, the military knows that they're at war with God. I need more context, man. I'm not sure what you mean. You could mean a whole bunch of things, and forgive me. I just want to be clear, so that way I can give a better rebuttal. What you mean? Maybe you know what Battlestar Commander means. BC.
Well, the military knows.
R3 resource. Go ahead.
Well, are you defining? You got to sort of give me what you mean by God.
Yeah.
In order for me to say anything, really.
Maybe we need a moral system that evaluates ideas and its impact to society, which represents all religious beliefs, including secular atheists, theism, etc.
Let's stop there for a second.
Sure. You see it?
I agree with your resource, but the system has to be individual in nature, I would say.
Meaning what?
As in a collection of individuals with their own moral code coming to a consensus on certain things. I don't know if I said that right. I would have to put in my my basis point, which would be the moral objective morality. If I plant that idea in there, then I would be assuming that people would gradually move towards the same moral code at some point.
Okay.
But I can't really do that in this argument. But I hear what you're saying, man.
All right, Ben says the point I was trying to make that is a car maker using that as an excuse to say that we don't need to take action to make the car safer.
I want to see the first one.
Then he said gang. No. Want me to say it again? Or the quote you said? It is. Here, I'll read it. It's not our car. It's not our cars are unsafe. It's the corrupted drivers who keep crashing. Now he's using it as a quote, as if maybe someone's saying that. Now he's saying the point I was trying to make is a car maker using that as an excuse to say they don't need to take action to make the car safer. Then he says there is no ethical model to capitalism as it is based on the accumulation of private wealth without any obligation to society.
Yeah. Yes. But that's because of the system being neutral. It's lifeless. It's the people in it that are full of life. If they are incorruptible, that means they have a moral code, which would give them a moral duty to do certain things to help everyone out.
So, look, if
they see a poor person on the street, they will do something about it because of their moral code.
Sure.
If
there was 100 Batmans running around, yeah. It's rooted into making profit off of somebody's labor and keeping that wealth.
Okay, but what if I like what I do?
Yeah.
What if I enjoy my labor? Well, if I don't want to work...
I do understand what he's saying.
If I don't want to work, I have a full society of incorruptible people looking after me. Let's say, alright, there's no occupation for... let's say I want to be a comic book writer, but I haven't owned the skills yet to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now there is no unprofessional and non-talented comic book writer job, right? Like, come here and not be good at making comic books. We'll pay you to do it.
That seems opinionated, but yeah.
All right, but that wouldn't be there, right? Something like that. But a society of incorruptible people would look after the rest of society to where it's like, let's look after this guy so that he can follow his dreams or whatever, and then he'll end up contributing to society. If, let's say he doesn't make it there, it's like, oh, there's one less poor person or one less someone considering criminality or anything like that. Fucking hard to explain.
Well, I understand, based off what I see as far as what capitalism is supposed to be, as far as at least the definition of it. Hold on. It also commodifies. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
It also commodifies other aspects of your being.
No.
No?
No. That's if you give that away.
Your wealth is
Depending on what you mean
commodified.
by that.
Your wealth is commodified in the form of health insurance, bought, sold, traded between massive private health insurers. Well, again, I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm saying if we go back to when capitalism was built, as far as we're going to use this system, this is what we're going to do. And if you look at it, and it seems pretty neutral, it could be either good or bad. You know? And then if people who are corrupt or ignorant, and they built things around that system in which it says, see, right here, this is it. Right here, it's bad, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like laws that are passed. Like, this is clearly bad. And there are some that are, well, this is neutral, but I can definitely see how this could be fucking horrible, you know? Like the Dark Act, like remember we just talked about the other day. What was it specifically? No labels on food or meat, right?
No, they don't have to put GMO labels.
Right, no GMO labels. Like, it wouldn't be a problem if everyone was like, if everyone wasn't incorrupt. I mean, if everyone was incorruptible and not ignorant, they would say, to some degree, you know, well, we wouldn't put anything horrible in the food, so why, you know? But at the same time, you know, why not? What did he say?
You're going too far up.
It is rooted. Okay.
We're like nowhere near our video now. We're sort of on topic.
We're gonna do the way we want it, right? I like it. This guy keeps coming, man. At us with comments.
Shut up.
Your shelter is commodified by a massively unequal and difficult to access housing market. Capitalism, as is written in the in the fucking 18th century, doesn't have a guidance to what is true to the system when it comes to healthcare. Or a modern real estate market, those things didn't exist in the 18th century. What the hell would, quote, true to the system be for something like healthcare? Housing? Food?
Well, charity is true to the system. If I have 5 houses and someone has none, I can give a house away. Granted, living in this world here, it doesn't seem realistic. But if you have an incorruptible society, you can do that.
Well, I get what, I understand what he's saying as far as specific things that are basically difficult, and they're not good things, you know. Like, it's so difficult to get a fucking house. That's in capitalism. And for, like, hey, dude, correct me if I'm wrong.
Maybe. All right, good.
Like, dude, if I want a house, I can't just fucking go, I'll take that. Or, like, you have to pay for it. And you have to work within this system, which is not good, but because people made it that way. You know? It's like, capitalism inherent nature to create inequalities has to be balanced somehow. With that, the market forces and hope, ? Charity exists because capitalism by design creates such severe inequality when it comes to where it becomes necessary. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
that sounds like a people problem rather than the system problem, you know?
That sounds like added in corruption to where they stack laws or stack rules on top of each other.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying the system today is good. I'm saying if we, again, I hope I'm not like pissing this dude off, you know, in a horrible way. What I'm trying to say is, if we look at the what capitalism is, or at least it's what, free market, right?
Yeah.
Competing. Competition. Those things are all okay if everyone is not a bad person. And I use that word loosely, you know, which is why I like to say ignorance or corruption. You guys should allow Skype calling 09 would be... Oh. What do you think of that?
Skype calling?
Yeah.
That will be a part of the show at some point, but...
Without a doubt.
I have to learn what the fuck to do. I'm pretty sure you could just fucking use OBS and...
I guess. You're diffusing societal problems to endless rabbit holes of litigating each other's person's individual decision. I mean, I think I wouldn't say I'm diffusing. I would say it's this. Hold on. I would say it is the society, but I'm not going to say it's society and capitalism. You know, capitalism can look bad, just like Marxism. Be careful when I say that. 'Cause I don't exactly know everything about Marxism.
Just say communism.
Communism. Okay.
Socialism.
And if you mix a sick society with a system that is neutral, shit won't be equal. It'll be imbalanced, you know.
Mm-hmm. On the lower and higher levels.
Sure. Hold on. Battlestar Commander, exactly. They attacked God. They made it their way. I would love to like pick at what he says. No, really. The Battlestar Commander. I just don't. He's not giving me a lot of context.
Listen, rabbit holes are important, and you can't just, you know. We arrived at these answers by going through a rabbit hole and constantly questioning everything, instead of just accepting like, oh, this guy did the studies, I read books on it, and then, like, it takes more than just a on the surface barrage of content. You need existential questioning.
Ben says, effectively chalking up to, quote, nothing needs to change. Let's just make bad people good people. I'll get at that. It leaves no room for actual change, any real action to address what problems you want to solve. Instead of its apathy, oh man, quote, oh man, too many bad people making bad decisions, end quote. It inspires no agenda, no call to arms, nothing other than hoping for the best. Well, it's not hope.
Yeah, this isn't.
Hold on.
This isn't our action.
Let's go down. Effectively chalking up to nothing needs to change. We can't make bad people good people.
Hold on. I think he.
Go ahead.
He might be thinking we're saying that we're making our statements based on the world we have now.
No.
And the way it is.
No. This is a. I say again. This is a sick society.
And
not only does harm to others, but harms that self-harm.
Yeah. Now, we're willing to listen and learn from you about capitalism because you seem to know more about it than we do. But corruption is something I understand quite fully. Corruption and goodness or whatever. So I welcome you to jump down that rabbit hole.
He said it ignores long-term trends, complex web of decisions, and institutions that create societal problems. Or they're pre-existing problems within the society. Well, I'm adding that.
Yeah.
And instead of singling out masses of people making bad decisions. Well, I mean...
that's what it is.
Look, that's what it is. Look, if we have a system that's neutral, and we have people that either, I'm saying it again, either ignorant or corrupt, things are going to happen. Now, if we have a system that's neutral and people are incorruptible, they're good. And by good, that means a whole bunch of shit. I'm saying good because it's a sound that I make with my mouth that everyone can understand, you know. And it's a lot easier to say that than everything I could say right now, which is very difficult because I know what good is, you know. I can't let you know. It's impossible unless something.
Yeah,
Hold on. So, it doesn't take much. I'm not saying he has no imagination, but it doesn't take much to truly understand incorruptible people with a neutral system that could, either or could happen as far as... See, bad things can happen within this system, but it doesn't because people are incorruptible, you know. Now, and this is where I would go again. You can't give me a system and then place people in it that this system will work. Nothing bad will happen within the system. Because if you have people that are either ignorant or corrupt, you put them within that system. You know, I don't believe there is a system out there.
Let's ask Ben this: is there such thing as moral intelligence, or some form of that word or in meaning?
Moral intelligence, you know, like like forms of intelligence, physical, like body intelligence.
Is there such thing as moral intelligence?
Or like, you know,
we'll use the Sam Harris example. Is the Dalai Lama moral? morally.
What would you suggest to them as a solution? To them, you mean the people?
You wrote that.
Oh, my bad. So when somebody comes to you saying, we really should fix our broken healthcare system, and you view problems through the bad decision made by corrupted people, what would you suggest to them as the solution?
Expose the shit out of the corrupt people. You're speaking in a corrupt society, right?
Yeah, he said, so when somebody comes to you saying, quote, we really should fix our broken healthcare system, end quote, and you view problems through the bad decisions made by corrupted people, what would you suggest to them as a solution?
The best way to take care of corruption is exposure.
And then eliminate
In
it.
fact, I would consider that the solution.
And by eliminate corruption...
You can use that on an individual level. Let's say you're, I don't know, taking a little extra money on the side when everyone else is getting the same pay, but you're sneaking in and getting a little extra. Now you're just doing this like, oh, I gotta survive, I gotta do this, I gotta make sure I'm okay. As soon as you expose yourself to that, the corruption, it's like, oh fuck, it's looking at me.
And when I say eliminate the corruption, I don't mean throw them in jail, because that whole shit is fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like we're not like, and the idea is to help people. You know, it's such a thing called redemption. You know,
yeah.
So there's always room for it. Hold on, wait, and that's a whole other issue. I guess
the bigger answer is
I'm trying to
the individual work of dissolving corruption.
Sure, I can't go like this.
Oh.
You're not corrupt anymore. It's a personal decision.
Yeah, I don't really agree with stacking laws on top of laws in order to impose morality.
You could call them this in a way. Instead of laws that we all have to abide and follow, you know, it's how about we just know what's right and what's wrong. You know what I mean? Obviously, like there could be like as far as rules, like you can't do that. You can't drive over here. Oh, I didn't know.
And have
you know what I mean?
Forums of exposing it.
Sure. So and then Battlestar
have open debates.
Battlestar Commander says, well, the truth might not set us free, but at least we know why things are and the way they are. I mean, as far as the truth, the whole truth, and this could go like deeper. In a way, it would.
Oh,
yeah.
The ultimate freedom, yes, it would. But
the absolute.
I don't think he means that. I think he means social freedom.
Possibly. Yeah. All right. Let me keep reading. Change the system. Ben says, change the system or just put other people in charge? ? Well, if the system is neutral, we don't really necessarily need to change it. If we want to make changes, then we can. You know. Or just put other people in charge. I mean, that's what people have been doing for years and years and years and years and years. Like, just, this guy was bad, let's put him in charge. This guy was bad, let's put him in charge. You know?
Yeah, well, hold on. When you say change the people around, if you put incorruptible people...
He didn't say change the people. He said, you're my bad. He said, or just put other people in charge.
Yeah, if you put incorruptible people, like in 100% through all sectors and not the society itself, but in these like CEO chairs and government chairs and all that shit.
Wolfman and Hart.
Yeah, if you put incorruptible people in there, what they would do is make the exposure of here's what's been going on that you guys, that's not on the surface for you guys to see. Here's what's been going on, okay. And blah, blah, blah.
Resources, R3 Resources ID says, the French Revolution was because of the same capitalist issue. I mean, I'd have to look into that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
Ben says, it isn't bad people making bad decisions to the system's design. Oh, my bad, to the system. The systems designed to deny coverage for healthcare to preserve profits to improve them. Yes, but I believe that's what happens when you have corrupt people in a neutral system, is they add and build things onto them, you know? Like laws on top of laws on top of laws, you know? And forgive me here, but, you know, I mean this when I say I don't necessarily have to know every little thing about a system as long as I know that it's neutral.
Do non-profits exist in capitalism? Is there such thing as non-profit organizations?
Within this context, that is. Just talking.
I have to ask because I don't know. Is that a capitalist capitalism idea.
Battlestar Commander says the top of it, quotation, parentheses, power structure, 100% corrupt. I mean, we don't. I would say so, but I can't tell you that I know.
I wouldn't say. I don't like calling people bad or corrupt or anything like that. I'd say their actions are corrupt. If you eliminate their corrupt actions, like let's say I can't say her name. Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton.
Say Hillary 3 times in a mirror. No lights. Watch what happens. It's like Candyman. It's like, I got your vote now.
But let's say Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to throw her in jail as much as you need to get rid of her corrupt actions. Now she's just a person.
Here's the thing. I do believe she's
now it's all profit.
Extremely corrupt. And there could be some ignorance in there. But I believe it's mostly corruption. Because
me too. But
I would imagine she's not...
I'm sure she eats food. I'm sure she walks her dog or whatever. If you eliminate the corrupt aspects of her...
Yeah,
she's just some lady walking her dog.
When I was on my conspiracy binge, it was some guy allegedly tied to the Rockefeller family or something like that, or a Rothschilds, and it was a guy telling, again, not very accurate here, but it was a guy telling him, listen, this is what we're going to do, involve 9/11 or something like that. This is what we're going to do, this is what's going to happen. But and the guy was saying to him, like the guy was telling him this, like, oh shit, this shit's going to happen? Like some kind of massive event that's going to be horrible? It's like, we can't do this. Like, listen, man, just worry about you and your family, and that's all you gotta worry about.
Oh, that's the Aaron Russo.
Mm-hmm. I would say that rings a bell. So here's my thing: if these horrible people, I'm not gonna call them. When I say bad people, I have my own meaning for it.
Just
these corrupt people,
typical
these corrupt,
or,
ignorant people that say these things or do these things. They're not monsters.
No.
They don't not have a soul. Unless they're really walking demons.
Their ideas are metaphysical gnats. No offense to gnats. That's all they are.
Hold on, let's catch up to what they're saying. Oh my god. Ben says, or increase premiums or deductibles in order to improve profit margins. They must do this because our capitalist system says healthcare is private good that is bought and sold and traded for profit. So you would uncorrupt people and charge for a forfeit enterprise.
For profit
enterprise in an economic political system that forces them to pay profits. That forces them to make profits. And to make profits.
What if they're non-profit?
Hold on. And to make profits they have to deny health care to people or make it inaccessible to a class of people with high costs. And then he says, what do these uncorrupt people do? Well, one is...
They make it non-profit.
Yeah. One is if these uncorruptible people were in a system that is neutral but it has been corrupted, I mean, it's kind of obvious, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it. Now, here's the thing. He's telling me a lot of things like, here, for example, I'll say it again. And to make profits that would have to deny health care to people or make it inaccessible to a class of people with high costs. I mean, what is health care really supposed to be for? We ask ourselves that, and then it basically makes me go back to the idea of when they decided to make capitalism, or at least let's say they didn't call it capitalism. Let's say the idea of capitalism, and then they give it a name. But the thing is, the idea of it, if it is neutral, which I'm pretty sure it is, and then that's it,
Yeah.
He's telling me all these things are current right now, which I'm pretty sure, and or past things. But those things sound like things that were built around this system. Basically, it's people making it corrupt.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, Battlestar Commander says if they...
power structure.
Yeah, power structure allowed a good society, they would still be a false god pushing punishing anyone that went against them. Well, here's the thing. They can't allow a good society or force a good society, you know?
Yeah.
A good society or healthy society, everyone would have to be good from internally good. I can't make you good. This is what I mean. You don't kill him or you'll go to jail. That's right.
You're a monster.
Ready? Now, that's like me imposing my will, forcing you to do good on the surface, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's really, I shouldn't kill him because it's not the right thing to do. It's not good.
It turns into fight or flight.
Sure.
Right.
So that's the thing I'm trying to say. So I'm not
the shallow end of the water.
So, like,
it's in a way, it's like God will punish me if I do this.
In a way, it really wouldn't be a power structure. It'd be basically a bunch of people being the structure, you know, and there'd be equal power amongst all. But this is what I mean also. As far as people in a healthy society, if they were to make some sort of group that was in charge of certain things regarding area A, B, or C, then that's okay. But as long as everybody knows what good is and they have care, then it wouldn't be a problem, you know?
Yeah.
Because you see it in, like, I'd say political points, political talking points. When people say shit regarding whether it could be something regarding war or regime change, and there are people out there like you, like, let's say they say something regarding we need to do this, we need to have regime change, and when we do our research, it's like you can't wave that shit, you know, past me. This isn't good. We're talking about killing people now. Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Or you don't even have to be killing, just imposing on someone.
Exactly, forcing, you know. All right, let's keep going. Ben says, do they do the right thing and cover everybody, losing that profit they need to survive in a capitalist system, or do we change our system of healthcare to ensure this doesn't happen? I mean, I have to go back to the same thing I said before. Neutral system, bad things built around it, you get rid of the bad things. And he's saying, well, how do you do that? And I'm like, well, I mean, dude,
that's individual work.
It is
on a mass level.
I can't make some law that makes people look internally and question themselves and who they are, what they are, as far as what they are connected to the universe and nature and all that. But it has to be like a massive, I mean like a complete society thing. Society meaning everybody. We haven't even got to the video. Yeah. Anyway, in which everybody comes to understanding of what is good and what is evil.
And actually, let's go to a little clip.
Hold on.
So I want to show.
We're almost done as far as the comments.
They're gonna keep coming.
I don't give a fuck. We're gonna finish this, and then we're gonna play the video.
Well,
we will answer everyone.
Yes, but he left good context for this.
Sure. All right. I'll leave off from right there.
Yeah, save that. All right. So yeah. Once again, we're not arguing for capitalism,
or at least we're not arguing. Yeah, and we're not arguing for the system which is in place right now, as far as whether it's the neutral system and the corrupt things that are built around it, as far as either laws or things that are happening between the laws. You know.
Yeah, this is purely just a anti-corruption type.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Spiel.
So
and the original idea for doing this video was to show out, like, these guys are considered
to show whiny Charlie Kirk succumb to our massive whatever, man.
These guys are supposed to be grassroots guys.
Mm-hmm.
The Candace Owens and the Charlie Kirk. And it's like, man, something smells. These sound like the typical fucking talking points. When he says capitalism, he's not going to say what we're saying here.
I don't think so.
I think he's saying what Ben is arguing against. That's what I hear here. It's that.
Well, it's like this.
I hate using group names, but that typical Republican fucking.
It's like this, dude. the crunch.
Capitalism, free markets.
Okay.
Support the troops.
Crunch, chocolate bar, right? Okay. You know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Blue wrapper.
I don't like them, but
Calm down. Blue wrapper. It's a chocolate bar. The crunch is in red. You know,
yeah.
red lettering.
I
right?
gotcha.
Now, back in the 80s, Reagan gave out a crunch bar, right? Let's just pretend here.
Okay.
Okay. Now, he's up there on stage. Crunch bar is red with blue lettering, and he spelled crunch with K. And guess what? It's the same bar. Here you go. Oh, I've never heard of this.
Very good point.
It's like,
It's rebranding, repackaging.
Not as good as Hershey's,
old,
but you know.
the same old fucking ideas.
All right,
and it's like,
all right. So this video,
I hang out with Kanye West, so
Charlie Kirk crushes socialism. Charlie Kirk, how to sway someone who's leaning on towards socialism.
why would you do that?
Well, hold on. Let me read.
All right, go ahead.
If he's ever on the fence about socialism, or anyone ever deals with a socialist, okay. Well, why would you want to sway someone who's leaning towards socialism?
That's playing.
That's like giving.
That's playing favoritism to play favoritism. That's what Rogan says, like team mentality type shit.
Kind of. Well, no.
Rather than
yeah. Well, it's like
if he,
I don't understand.
If he actually looked at socialism, he'd be like, Medicare for all makes sense if you're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, if people are doing the right thing, they wouldn't be a problem. These systems are neutral.
Yeah.
Well, not all systems are. I mean, if it says kill everybody you want, law number 1.
Technically, if there's no corruption, it'd be like, oh, kill anyone you want? I don't want to kill anybody.
You will kill someone.
You have to kill someone.
Yeah.
Then it's like,
yeah. Okay. So
that is corrupt.
like, yeah. Either I can't give a system, a neutral system, automatic life. You know, I can't unless
you win.
I make it bad. Meaning, every Monday you will kill your neighbor's animal or pet. And if he does not have one, then chop off his fingers. That is relative to what you want it to be, whether it's toes or fingers. Rule number 2. You will rape the opposite sex at any time you wish. You will.
Good luck.
My bad. That's that contradicts itself. You will.
Good luck, women.
Yeah. It turns out the woman actually turns out like
they'd be shooting Viagra bullets at people.
The women figure out like, wait, athletic performance? Then their legs enable them to run away from men. So I don't know. I'm going off here. Let's just play the video.
Alright, let's listen to this possible creeper.
Oh.
His idea is not himself. He could just be neutral, blank slate.
Hey, man, I don't know. We'll see.
Alright.
He's ever on the fence about socialism, or anyone ever deals with a socialist, or someone who's
Let us know if you can hear it.
to Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders.
Memorize where you left it.
I've been asked a couple questions, and I say this a lot, which is you ask the question, do you trust the government? And they will usually typically say no. And then you say, then why do you want to make it bigger? That's it. I mean, if they don't like the government and they don't trust politicians and they don't think it works, then why would you want to give more money to that same government to make it bigger, to try and fail to solve problems? That makes sense? I mean, why would we, so you can all of a sudden get them to admit that they're skeptical that government doesn't work. And so Bernie Sanders goes out and he says, the millionaires and the billionaires are running our economy. And I have 3 houses. But then the next question should be, Senator Sanders, if the millionaires and billionaires have truly bought our government, why would you want to make that very government stronger? Wouldn't you?
See, it's like the typical Republican fucking talking points. Big government, leftists, pro-life. It's like I've thought the same thing.
All right.
I've thought the same thing about Alex Jones. I'm like, he just sounds like Republican to me.
Yeah.
Anyone bad is considered leftist or a globalist. The globalist, the leftist.
Yeah, what does that mean, dude? Don't get me started.
They're anti-capitalism and they're bad. Whatever the fuck he says.
Let's just keep going. Like, just being clear, we will
moving on to
answer.
the other one.
Oh, well, we don't need to. We're not
I'm going to this one.
Hold on.
Because this is the scariest one yet.
All right, hold on. We will answer every one. So, just being.
Alright, this is the scary one. See, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's running for some sort of political office in the future. Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk joins Israel's 24-hour news to discuss the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
So this is right after the 61 dead protesters in Gaza from after the embassy move.
Right.
And here is Charlie Kirk's opinion on it. Pretty scary.
If you say it's really scary, then
it's pretty fucking scary.
I'm worried.
Hopefully they can hear this.
I'm sure they can. Hold on. Wait. I will. Yeah, like I said, we will answer everyone. But just let us know if you can hear us. Like, good. Or well enough.
Let's see.
Let us know.
When you say the high death toll?
Oh, look, I mean, if you don't want to get burnt, don't touch the stove. I mean, what, you're charging the border.
What?
You know what's going to happen. Israel has the right to defend its borders. Any sovereign nation does.
Excuse me? What?
If you don't want to get burnt, don't touch the stove.
What the fuck is that?
They knew what was going to happen if they ran up towards the fences. They knew what was going to happen. It's obvious. Israel has a right to sniper people.
That's a sick thing to say. And that'll be there forever.
And it's literally people with rocks. Or maybe tires.
And there's some people that just didn't do anything.
Let's hear more. Weren't there children killed in this?
Yeah.
You know what the main talking point excuse is for that? It's Hamas is known to use civilians as human shields. Meanwhile, it could have just been a kid.
Good. Okay.
Following his parents around.
They can hear us good.
Alright.
Well, so says a Battlestar Commander.
No, I actually meant the video.
Let's say they can. Oh, they can hear us in the video. Yeah, yeah. All right, keep going.
And use whatever force they deem necessary. But
use whatever force they deem necessary.
No one's talking about how the Palestinian Authority subsidizes and encourages this behavior. I mean, every single one of these victims, their families are going to receive checks now. And
you see the same thing with Alex Jones. We did a video on this, to where he's like, after he waits till Israel kills 61 people and wounds, what was it, like 1,900 people?
Yeah.
Or 2,000 people?
Yeah.
That's when he comes out with a video saying why I support Israel.
Dude, I
want to go back just a little
There's this thing called dancing around the truth that I feel these guys do, you know? Here's what makes me fucking sick, okay? It's these guys that are corrupt. Yeah. And by corrupt, I don't mean business deals, even though you're that color. I mean, like, somewhere in here, you know?
Yeah, there's something.
You're a part of this system that people are dying from. Kids are getting shot by drones, blown up. Little kids are playing rubble, you know? Fucking, and you're sitting here saying, well, listen, Billy, the stove's hot. Don't touch it. What are you doing? Bow down.
Yeah.
Bow down. Bend the knee. Bend the knee to us. The stove is hot.
Hey, you know how people like suppress or repress, traumatic events they've had in their lives. Mm-hmm. They just try to not think about it. That's what these guys do with like their conscience. They're like I don't want to think about it anymore.
Kirk probably fantasizes about mass murdering political opponents, considering how flippantly he can support Israel's massacres. Again, we're
it's not even flippantly support. It's just 100%. Israel didn't do anything wrong. I blame the Palestinians and their rocks that they were throwing.
All right, let's keep. Is that it?
They threw rocks. I'm playing it back from the beginning.
All right.
They threw rocks with sad faces on them, and it intimidated the IDF soldiers.
It hurt my feelings, and I had to use force.
All right.
Necessary force.
Charlie, would you agree with that when you say the high death toll?
Well, look, I mean, if you don't want to get burnt, don't touch the stove. I mean, what, you're charging the border. You know what's going to happen. Israel has the right to defend its borders. Any sovereign nation does. And they can use whatever force they deem necessary.
Wrong.
But what I don't understand here...
Go back to that.
No one's talking about
Please?
the Palestinian Authority.
Let's go back to that, and let's imagine him from that guy from, what do you call it? What's that movie, 50 Shades of Grey, when he sees a woman? Go ahead, play it. Watch. Watch.
Oh, don't make fun of his mannerisms. Just let him go.
There's certain ticks out there that fucking creep me out.
Just let it go.
Just saying.
Let's shit on his ideas instead.
Hey, whatever.
Use whatever force is necessary.
It's like this. We will do what's good.
That baby threatened my border.
Let's laugh at him.
Machine guns are necessary.
Watch this. Watch the guy in the wheelchair. Bang. Oh,
Yeah.
a guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
With no gun. Oh, his words. His words are dangerous.
We got that on video.
Yeah, yeah. All right, keep playing.
Happen. Israel has the right to defend its borders. Any sovereign nation does, and they can use whatever force they deem necessary. But what I don't understand here in the conversation is no one's talking about how the Palestinian Authority subsidizes and encourages this behavior. I mean, every single one of these victims, their families are going to receive checks now, and that's subsidized through hundreds of millions of dollars of foreign aid. Exactly. They don't.
Speaking of capitalism, look at these fucking welfare babies trying to take advantage of the system.
No. Welfare babies trying to take advantage of the system. It's these leftists.
Yeah.
It's the left. The globalists.
We need smaller government, okay? If your arm's blown off, you're on your own. You touched the stove, okay? It was hot, you touched it.
Like, are you
your arm's gone.
Are you kidding me? Alright, is that it?
Let's play a little more.
Right.
It's so silly that you just fuck it.
They're incentivizing bad behavior. So if you want to stop getting bad behavior, stop funding that behavior.
That's it.
Look, the IDF is doing.
It's like, maybe the U.S. should stop funding Israel,
or at least stop funding
their military.
And the other theory is giving money to Saudi Arabia that allegedly gives money to these rebels in Syria.
Yeah.
That
Syria goes more than that.
Yeah.
Syria, throughout the fucking Middle East. Shit.
Their job, and every single person, every single one of those terrorists that charged the fence, they knew exactly what was going to happen to them, and it's immoral.
The terrorists.
You knew what was going to happen. Why'd you do
it?
Mandy, I know you're 10, but you knew it was going to happen.
I'm not going to make a blanket categorization as that, but those that
That's the problem, though, isn't it?
Well, no, it's not necessarily. But those that which are incentivizing it and subsidizing it, encouraging it, and training those people to do it, they are terrorists.
Let's get Rory in on this. What do you think?
These were all trained by terrorist people.
They were militia. That's what they were. They were a trained militia. Mandy has been trained since she was 3. Okay.
Just slingshot.
She didn't have a Cabbage Patch Kid. She had a grenade. Okay. She was ready.
Yeah, I'm enough with this shit.
She ran a 60 time at a 6.2. She's a phenom. She was trained.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is that it?
Yeah. I just want to say we were showing these videos because. Yeah. What? We were showing these videos because these smell like the guys that are like fake grassroots type people. I've looked at, tried to look for like donors and shit like that for Turning Point USA.
Yeah.
There's some wealthy guys giving them money and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is. Do I want to say like Donald Trump again? Where you're like pretending to be one of the guys, one of the people. And then you get in office and not do shit with it.
And whatever good you do is basically tainted. It's like this. If I'm If I'm a billionaire, okay, and I give $50,000 to an after-school program, which kids of a town or you know whatever have you don't have much. Don't have much to do after school. Parents aren't home, etc. Like, you know, bad neighborhoods, etc. You know, like different areas throughout the town. You know, different circumstances, but still it is a good thing to have. Yeah. And he gave him $50,000. That's a great thing. Like, oh, we can have this, we can have this, we can have all these things for the kids and all that. You know, it's a great thing. But why did he do it? You know. That's one thing, and the other thing is it doesn't
like hidden motive or something.
Sure,
like that.
And then it doesn't mask whether it's like let's say, if it was an act of good, it doesn't mask everything you fucking done, you know.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I don't just say bad people.
Well, yeah,
you have to accept the whole person, but just sweep
Obama.
Get rid of
I believe him.
Corruption part.
From what I see, he makes out to be a war criminal, a murderer. But you know he has a family.
he had chances to establish Medicare for all.
Yeah.
But, decided to create a bridge with the government and the people, and call it insurance companies.
Yeah. All right. I guess we can answer the questions now. All the way back.
I don't know where we were.
All right. Do. How do I stop this? How do I make this better? Pause. All right, here we go. Right here.
Well, let's see if we can get their take on.
Oh, let's.
Because we already like switched topics almost.
Sure, but I did say.
All right, good.
You're fucking helping me too.
Go ahead.
Mm.
Pick and choose.
It's like we're at the house and like if in
Just fucking.
our parent clean up the throw up. Go ahead. It's like, but it's out. It's go ahead, do it. It's like fuck you, whatever. All right. Ben says this is from a while ago. Obviously, do they do the right thing and cover everybody losing their profit? They need to survive in a capitalist system, or do we need to change the system of healthcare? Okay, I read that before. Battlestar Commander said, I'm not sure how much science you know, but we are not free in our existence. Physics. What would you say to that?
I was not listening to you.
That's
Which one?
Battlestar Commander said a while ago, I'm not sure how much science you know, but we are not free in our existence. Physics. They have woven time into everything to destroy it or kill it, kind of like Born to Die. People think God wouldn't want us to suffer here for him or his love or whatever. That's delusional thinking.
Agreed.
I don't know about the science thing. I mean,
how much science? Yeah, if you mean biologically not free, even that one I might contend with. I'm not sure the laws of physics are that lawful.
Yeah.
I think they're subject to change. Maybe in our lifetimes we might only see minor changes, or it might just stay within a certain spectrum. Like, let's say the force of gravity might stay on like a certain spectrum, but who knows, man? I don't know the future.
If they make it non-profit, Ben says, if they make it non-profit, they would need to rely on a public source of funding in order to meet the demands of a non-profit healthcare system. He said, voila, you have a socialist model of distributing healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if my model is everyone should have it, then I wouldn't want to label it, but if it meets that, I mean, I guess it's similar,
Yeah.
So, Battlestar Commander says, a godhead, ... Yes, they once, parentheses, U.S. military thought they could be God. I'm not talking about infiltrate grunts. Well, again, I mean, he needs to fucking... I mean, I do like it.
I'm seeing a picture being drawn out as each time he comments.
Yeah, I know.
Or she comments. And I can see a picture growing.
Resources, I'm just gonna call them resources. No offense.
Yes, we chew Tabasco. That's for resource.
Yeah. Something we might not be adding is the dominance hierarchy.
Ooh, who said that?
Resources. Battlestar Commander says, and if not them, then others, there wouldn't be any problems. If not for them. I don't know about that.
Just skipped over resources. By dominance hierarchy, do you mean certain people will be better at some things over others? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean...
We'll find out.
Or do you mean an actual competitive dominating hierarchy?
The Democrats and the Republicans are its faithful servants in the false god. Well, I would say that the two political parties are definitely just for show, in my opinion, in a way, because they end up doing the same fucking thing, which is horrible.
Are you calling government the false thing?
Maybe it means false hope and trust of a system which proves that claims to be good, or they used, like, you know, God wants us to do this, the ultimate good.
Yeah, I don't know if you're speaking in metaphor or
I like
being
it.
blatant.
I like it.
But I can see a picture being drawn.
Holy shit, what a bad argument. Also ask the question, do you trust
Humana?
Do you trust Google? Do you trust whatever massive corporation? Kirk also ignores what making the government stronger means. It means free healthcare and free college. Okay, hell yeah, make my government stronger, man.
Okay, I'm with that. And yeah, just once again, he sounds like a typical Republican talking point, like almost George Bush era. That's what it sounds like to me. When I first
imagine George Bush is like, we will take his brain out and place it into this youngin right here. Go. These are the mannerisms they use today. Listen, bros. This system sucks. We have to have smaller government. Basically, tiny as fuck. Woo! He's cool. Alright, hold on.
When I first started, rabbit holing into discovery, politics was one of the things I never paid attention before in my life until I believe it was 2007, 2008, around the time like Barack Obama was coming up.
Right, and then a bus hit you, and you realized, no.
But I would literally like watch all the debates and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
you went ham for Obama.
No. But
you got the fake ears. You ran out in the streets.
Well, when you listen to the Republican talking points, other than
maybe
like a Ron Paul or some other guys,
I believe those guys.
Like a guy or
sure.
Ron Paul, maybe like a guy or other too.
I feel he's like, I'll just say this is what I am, and then I can be here.
I think
possibly.
I think Ron Paul is actually probably more of what the true essence of being a Republican is.
Probably.
Like he also says small government, but he means like they shouldn't be taking control over this area of life over another.
Being means big as far as like dominating figure, you know.
Yeah, or like war without consent from Congress and all that shit. But yeah, a lot of these talking points were in these debates from 10 years ago.
He says, "Oh, the reason why many governments or systems don't work very well or fail altogether, they are constantly under attack by others' entity."
Ooh.
What do you mean, sir? I'm interested.
That sounds metaphysical in nature.
All right.
Actually, I have it.
Ben says, "Wow, that's frightening." Okay, he's talking about like what that guy said. As far as the stove shit. Quote: "Don't these Palestinians know we're a crazed apartheid state? Of course they had to know we were gonna ruthlessly murder them."
Well, Ron Paul does not come off as a white nationalist. I do not think.
Hold on. I'm gonna keep reading. You keep hitting the fucking. All right.
Dude, you can use those if you can read.
No. I'm here.
You're on the same part.
I don't care. I'm here now. Right. Yeah, they said the funny shit about Kirk. Battlestar Commander. I'm not sure, but the American military or NATO might have those Israeli government military enslaved or under threat to them or their families. Battlestar Commander. They have a false god complex. If they don't know what I know, I would immediately be blaming Israel, but I don't have the intel at the moment. I mean, if you're interested, that is interesting what he's saying as far as false god complex, because I do believe the whole Israel thing is motivated by possible religious motives, maybe. As far as what, and if you want to, like how I came up with that theory, Ryan Dawson's the guy to go to as far as conflict within the Middle East. Yeah. And then you could come up to the idea as far as, they might be doing this as far as for religious reasons, as far as and I don't mean by like it says here in our religion to do this. I mean like you said it better. Israel is doing this is because of...
Actually, Charlie Kirk was asked this question.
Okay.
Talking about him being evangelical.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, are you basically are you self-fulfilling some prophecy?
That's it.
To bring Jesus
fulfilling
back?
some prophecy to bring back Jesus, or to meet some type of like biblical hierarchy or whatever. I don't know, but it seemed like that. But Dawson explains it very well, like on paper, how these events take place, what's happening. And Corbett's another guy to go to, but Dawson's kind of like on the right there every time, as far as like if it's happening, he's going to talk about it, he's going to say something. He talks about that a lot. That's like his main expertise.
Okay.
Middle East war. Corbett's kind of like touches like every issue, but not as constantly as Dawson does as far as the Middle East.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Resources. You guys chew tobacco. I mean, I don't.
Tabasco.
Oh, my bad.
We spit fire. Like Dylon.
No, we spit that hot fire. Like Dylon and Dylon and Dylon. And he also says in capitalists there can be corruption, but on top of corruption we also have the dominance hierarchy.
Once again, I don't know exactly what you mean. Do you mean like that competitive dominance, or like, yeah, something like that? Okay. If I'm smarter than you, I will pose a form of dominance in this area.
All right, Ben. Okay. Now we're gonna get where Ben said. Ben said, "Whoa, Ron Paul is practically a white nationalist." Okay, I don't know. And then he says he was widely racist during his first couple decades in Congress, especially in an interview with local Texas press. Also, his views on abortion are borderline fascist. Seriously, Google some of his deeply racist statements that are here. In fact, former KKK leader David Duke called out Paul because he was pissed that Paul was hiding his true racist beliefs. Not mad as in how dare you, mad as in I know you support this, help us and support it publicly. He dropped his dog. What? He dropped his dog whistling in the 2000s and during his presidential campaigns, whitewashing his image, making him out to be some sort of libertarian icon. Could
interesting
be true.
I want to see that.
Yeah. Ben, you could be right.
Fuck, I gotta fucking get it. We're lazy, so we're going with the video.
This is awesome.
Racist rant con tape.
Try put Ron Paul KKK. David Duke. Try that.
I said it was a local news thing that.
Oh, just don't yell at me.
Let's see this.
See this?
Keeping them honest with a part of Ron Paul's past that you might not know about. And truth be told, it's a part of his past that we don't know fully about. That's because the congressman...
It's a good Vice LOL article from 2012 on.
Whenever he's asked about this. And because
I don't know about Vice.
Tonight, his story appears to have changed over the years as well. Now that's him today, taking off his microphone.
I'll look into it.
Questioning
Vice.
from CNN's Gloria Borger. The questions have to do with racially inflammatory writings published in monthly newsletters bearing his name.
Wait,
and
pause.
to paid subscribers during the 80s.
I'm being tainted by CNN.
Stop.
In the 90s. Now, though the articles rarely carried a byline, they were written in the first person and ran in publications such as Ron Paul's Freedom Report, the Ron Paul Political Report, and the Ron Paul Survival Report. Now, this all flared up about 3 years ago when the liberal New Republic did the story. More recently, though, the same reporter writing for the Conservative Weekly Standard fleshed out even more details, as have news organizations from the New York Times to CNN. What we've all uncovered are items like this from a 1992 newsletter shortly after the LA riots, titled Special Issue on Racial Terrorism. Listen to this. One line reads, "Order was only restored in Los Angeles when it came time for the blacks to pick up their welfare checks."
Oh, fuck.
Well, in fact, order was restored when the National Guard moved in. 2 years earlier, in another Ron Paul publication, an article criticized President Reagan for signing legislation approving the creation of the federal Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, complaining, quote, "We can thank him for our annual Hate Whitey Day. Again, these
That's not
newsletters
as
were written in
bad.
the 80s and 90s while Ron Paul was out of Congress and had several thousand subscribers. As I mentioned, a lot of this first came to light in 2008. In fact, Wolf Blitzer asked him about it back then.
Congressman, there's a lot of material there, but let me just try to figure out how did this stuff get in these Ron Paul newsletters? Who wrote it?
Well, I have no idea. Have you ever heard of a publisher of a magazine not knowing every single thing? The editor is responsible for the daily.
So he didn't. I thought he wrote it.
I don't know.
Didn't it sound like he wrote it?
It's more about what they found on him and then their take on it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just wanted to hear quotes and hear things from him.
Like, I was expecting to see a video to say, you know, that rap music, right? Are you making video of this? We got it! We got it on video!
See if the Vice one is there. Should I just put Vice? Let's try that.
Try that.
Vice man.
Dude, your fucking tablet charges like shit.
I know. Of course, vice president is the thing that comes up. You know what? Let's just fucking go away.
There's no byline on the article, so we can maintain plausible deniability.
Is the Vice thing when it was... Oh no, Vice wasn't on HBO back then.
Exactly like what he's doing in that interview. Hmm?
Let's see.
Wait. Let's read it. Ron Paul racist rancor on tape. Explosive footage. Alright. Because it's in caps. You know, it's so serious. It's like they're yelling at me. You know. It's serious.
I would like to believe that if we had a freer society,
Wait.
we would take care of blacks and whites and everybody equally, because we're all individuals, and to me that is so important. But if we had equal justice under the law, I think it would be a big improvement. If we had probably a repeal
It's a Vice article, he says.
Laws on drugs and the unfairness on how blacks are treated with these drug laws, it would be a tremendous improvement. Congressman Paul.
Words, not a video, he says.
Tavis Smiley.
You heard?
Words, not a video?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was that one we were just watching.
No. He says,
Oh, like look an article up?
yeah.
So fucking lazy.
Do it. Hold on. Alright, here. Do it. Do it, Jordan. Look up the article and become one with the darker side of the Force.
There we go.
We must be quick.
Yeah. Ron Paul is racist after all.
Sorry.
Play Marcin with that. What? Schadenfreude finally left the Ron Paul campaign. Okay, I want to see what he says. People close to Paul's operations said he was deeply involved in a company that produced the racist newsletters. Ron Paul and Associates and closely monitored its operations, signing off an article and speaking to staff members virtually every day. I got a nitpick here.
Well, this is what probably happened. When he was in high school, right, he had a girlfriend. She dumped him.
Yeah.
And maybe there was this young African-American fella came along, said, hey, let's go to the prom. Forever. I'm just kidding. No.
See, I question whether his libertarian views say, well, you have a voice. I can't just say no to your voice, even if you're a racist. I don't know.
Hey, that's definitely...
Let me read more.
Definitely worth looking into.
It was his newsletter, and it was under his name, so he always got to see the final product. He would proof it. said Renee Hathaway, a former secretary in Paul's company and a supporter of the Texas congressman. ... A person involved in Paul's businesses who spoke on condition of anonymity, another word I can't say, to avoid criticizing a former employer, said Paul and his associates decided in the late 1980s to try to increase sales by making the newsletters more provocative. They discussed adding controversial material, including racial statements, to help the business, the person said. Now, that would be corruption of a different kind.
Well, it was playing on growing racial tension, economic tension, fear of government, said the person who supports Paul's economic policies, but is not backing him for president. I'm not saying Ron Paul believed this stuff. It was good a copy. Ron Paul is a shrewd businessman. Hey, yeah.
That would be another form of corruption.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be racism.
Well, a lot of modern libertarianism has roots in segregationists complaining about government overreach when they are being told to integrate. Then he says, I'm Batman. The language used to defend them. The language used then to defend segregation is much of the same language libertarians use today. I'd have to.
That's very. I mean, what you're insinuating
is that the globalists did it. It's no joke. Individual liberty, states' rights, federal overreach, tyranny of the courts.
I mean, that's possible.
It is possible.
It's possible, but for some reason I don't believe it.
Hey, I don't know.
Maybe that's more realistic.
Yeah, this is
also
a possibility.
What could I say or what could someone say?
This is also a possibility. Let's say he was a racist. And then Epiphany. But he denies it today.
Yeah. That's
possible. Or he is racist and he's covering his tracks. Or it's not true. And he never was. I don't know.
I won't deny what you're saying, Ben, because it's possible with the history of this. Not that I'm an expert on it, but it's possible that the history of this could have started with racists.
Yeah.
And then they said, oh, we can't just be openly racist anymore. You have to say things in a roundabout way.
Like a lawyer.
And maybe these guys adopted that.
Ready?
The newer...
So you killed those people. We neutralized them. We neutralized the terrorists' threat. You bombed them. We neutralized them.
Where'd you leave off? Yeah.
Right here. That's libertarianism that Ron Paul comes from. That's where his roots are in the late 80s, evidenced by his newsletters. When he views government overreach, he includes federal bans on segregation as a part of that.
I'd really have to dig deep into research to and start connecting dots for that.
I'm not doubting it. You really could be. Yeah.
I'm doubting it personally. Just, once again, this is not based on any real evidence. It's just my intuitive... I don't know.
Hey, friends have told me that...
My intuitive, I
don't
think so for some reason.
You have a Ron Paul bed cover. It's okay.
I don't vote. But
your Ron Paul model by your TV. It's okay.
He is a good news source, from what I heard and seen. Alright. Ready to wrap this up? It's fucking midnight. I mean...
Ready to wrap this up? It's fucking midnight.
It's it's not midnight, it's any time, because we could be anywhere.
I got you. Ready? We're in Phoenix, Arizona. That's why we're wearing this hoodie and this winter cap. Uh-oh.
Okay.
This could be bad. Alright.
How is that controversial, what he just said?
Let's see. Imagine. Religion, false God, it's controversial. Oh, he said the Pope.
Read it. Read it.
I'll read it because I want to, not because you told me to.
Please.
Battlestar Commander said, people follow the government like it's a religion. People follow the government like it's a religion. The politicians are in the preachers for their false god. The president is their pope. Their bureaucracy is their religion. The wordism is their Bible. The government. Oh, my bad. It wasn't capitalized. My bad. The government is the religious wing of the military. They are in the embodiment of a false god. Eastern time. Ha ha.
Fuck. I mean, he's right. In Asia, the true East.
Fuck it. New York all day. New York.
We're speaking Japanese, but YouTube is so advanced it's translating and English dubbing everything.
Yes, you have had your skin, what do you call it? You had the opposite Sammy Sosa thing going on, and we both had eye surgery. Yes.
Fuck, no Kramer, man. But,
oh, please. Your shit was fucking no Kramer.
Battlestar Commander, they tried to block out your message. That wasn't bad at all.
It's because you said Pope. Alright, well, let's look into what he said.
No, like I said, I'm like, oh, he's painting a picture. And that might be the...
You're saying he's wrong.
I'm saying that this might be the finished product.
Yeah.
In which case, for a lot of people, I might agree with you. As far as how they...
This just reminds me of when it...
Oh, Mr. President.
Yeah. Or this... Who's one person you would like to meet? Oh, Obama. Like, suck my dick, man. And not in a bad way.
Fuck. You're the Savage Jackson of this.
I don't care. And what I mean that is it means like, are you fucking for real? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, let's wrap this up, man. It's time to go.
Let's wrap this up. It's fucking midnight. It's time to go. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Alright, guys. Really good comments. I think I learned some shit about capitalism.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Or not. You know.
If you want to subscribe. As you can see, we try to read the comments. So we're up for debates and all that shit.
If you subscribe, let us know.
Don't forget to give the video a thumbs down. We love you.